Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or for those that are new, welcome, and hope you will learn a lot from this video and subscribe to my channel so we can start sharing our journey together. Today I want to do a video on tips for bosses when it comes to evaluations, especially those performance evaluation annually. Again, every institution could be different. You could have biannually or quarterly. I know most bigger organizations are more annually. So with that, let's get started. First of all, I am a manager, so I do have quite a bit of direct reports. I have 46 people that I work directly with, both technicians and pharmacists. So this has been something on my mind because it is something that I am expected to do yearly. So I want to give you guys some tips that may help you as well. So first of all, depend on the size of the team. It can get very time consuming when it is the annual evaluations, aka first you've got to put in the evaluation itself, and you want to give constructive feedback, not say you're doing good or better, right? You want to give them very constructive feedback, as well getting feedback from others on how folks are doing. Second is putting in the merit increase, and third is sitting down and talk to people. So it is a full-time job on its own just to do evaluation, and depends how big your team is. It can be very labor intensive, and you have to do a lot of active planning to make it and execute it very well. So with me having 46, and I think there are people who have less, there are people who have more, so we all have different number of employees, but in the end the general concepts are similar. Is that we need to get it done and get it done well and do it right, and want to make sure that our folks are growing every year based on the development goals, based on their professional interest, and how we can, as a leader, help them grow in that trajectory. So with that, what I would recommend is, depends how big your team is, really trying to keep a record of accomplishments that each of your members have been able to achieve throughout the year, and try not to have just a one-time constructive feedback like waiting for annual performance. Really take a look at if they're within your schedule. Are you able to schedule what I call rounding by walking throughout the department or throughout a now remote world, right? Within meetings and remote meetings, just to have that touch point. And if you have a really large group, maybe break it down to a smaller group of 2 or 3, or 3 to 4, or 1-on-1, depends on of course the role that your individuals are working with. And sometimes it'll be just as effective for you to round every day on your team, having morning huddle, having afternoon huddle, just something that you can still have touch points on. How are things going? What's the problem? And then you start hearing issues, and if it's something that it's repeated occurrence, and if you need champions, I think those are all good opportunities for you to be in the trenches and with the team as much as possible, so you get to know your team members' core strengths and also areas of improvement, and giving them opportunity to be mentored by you throughout the year. So that's one, is finding opportunities to have that face-to-face as much as possible. Be in it with them so you can understand the daily struggle, why they can't get certain things done, and how can we help them to be successful. And then the second tip I would say is have a tracking mechanism. So would that be a paper record of all their accomplishment, aka someone getting an award for something from organization level or individual level? Is there a way you could catalog all these kudos, recognitions, empowerment, so later on you remember to pull it out when you are doing the evaluation and write it up? It is hard, it's not easy, especially, again, depends how big your team is, but I think it's just putting that little efforts in will pay dividends towards the end of the year, because the end of the year, if you have to try to remember what did 46 of my employees done that's so great, it can get very daunting and scary and paralyzing at times, if you're trying to do all of them at once and trying to remember everything from your memories, because you've slept since then and certain things get washed away. So having a tracking mechanism is great. So either electronically, that could be your OneDrive, could be on your task list, could be a combination of paper/electronic. So what works for me is I use a OneDrive document with employees' files, and also have a physical files of those physical forms that I receive as well. And then of course I rely on my Outlook extensively, and each of my employees have an Outlook folder that I drop things in on conversation. I talk to them, so when it comes to that time, I just go to their folder and give me some refresh. I was like, oh yeah, this is what happened, this is what happened. So that has been really helpful for me. And then for our organizations, we have what we call a Bravo system, where we go and give kudos and recognition to people that have done an amazing job, and they have records of that electronically. So everything that I sent out, I can go back and look my employees and what they have done. So that helps me too. So it is not a simple system, right? Like, it's very complicated and complex trying to keep track of all the things that your team members have done, but I think it's really crucial to do so, just because if not, then you won't be able to give them a lot of good constructive feedback for their professional growth and development areas in the career of interest. So it is a lot of work, but that's our goal as a leader, is taking on this task and take on this opportunity to help and grow our individuals. So the third tip I would say is really trying to set up the appointment and give people a heads up on the annual evaluations. Like, hey, this is coming up, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk, and give them expectations of what we want them to bring to the conversation. So first off, of course, we want them to fill out their evaluations to with their due diligence in terms of providing accomplishment, really justify if they put themselves as amazing and superior. Why are you superior in this category? What makes you superior? Don't just say I'm superior. Tell them we want, data and facts, and really showing what were you able to help with to make it superior. Like, you were able to save 100,000 on XYZ project, or you were able to attain X number of clients, or you were able to give X number of immunizations, right? So we want them to also tell us, why are you rating yourself this way? Because when we go back and look at that, also help us, because we are not able to see everything and know every single thing that our folks do. So we want them to be as crystal clear, as transparent, and as factual as possible, instead of I'm great because people love me. That is not as objective, right? So we want them, just really give them clear expectations. Hey, make sure you complete your evaluation and make sure you have objective data as much as possible to justify why you're XYZ. And when they do come on, for our one-on-one talk, be prepared to discuss and reflect on the year, what 2 things have gone really well for you, what 2 things we've done really well as a company, and what's 1 thing that you want to accomplish next year, professional growth wise. And you can do a lot more goal setting, of course, in that document for the evaluations, but at least it's a starting point to have a conversation. For me, when I go and do evaluation, I don't necessarily read everything verbatim that I wrote. I usually read the last part of my evaluation, the summary, but I make it more conversational, because I want them to know, this is an opportunity for you to share with me what are your professional interests and what are your professional goals, and how can I help you from that standpoint. So make it more conversational, because people could read and it's very boring, and also not productive that you just read what you write to them. So of course, when you talk to them, you want to use some of the points that you wrote up, so it's not that it's wasting your time writing these things up, because they're important, but you want to make it more conversational and invite reflection and give them opportunity to think and brainstorm on what are the next things they want to accomplish. So I hope you find this helpful. It has been helpful for me in the past few years as a leader. I would love to hear some more tips and things that you have done that has helped you in the past as a boss to do evaluation. And I invite you to write that down in the comment box and connect with me on LinkedIn, as I love to share with you about different career advice and empower leaders to be successful in your career and financial journey. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.